My good news, just under 2 weeks of giving my agent 15 million naira, I have got my papers to travel to New Zealand. Just don't keep my joy, yo. The paper, let me have a look at the paper I was even given. So what my agent said is with either visitor visa or transit visa, that you just go to New Zealand by flight, or you can go via cruise ship. Then when you arrive, you present this paper to the immigration, and they will give you work visa to start working. And even that this one, I can use it to start working. Yeah, super excited. Oops. Do you mean 15 million naira? I am not a joy kill, but come, let's sit down. I want to walk you through something, and you will be thrilled to know what happened to your 15 million naira. This is exactly how most of us sound after coming out from some of those offshore agents' office with piece of paper promising heaps of things on arrival here in New Zealand. Just as I've always done, I am Julia Chinelo, your out and about lady here in New Zealand, anytime, any day, and I'm still committed to that promise that I'm going to be sharing my life journey here in New Zealand, so that those of you coming after me would leverage on it and have a smoother journey. So in this video, I am going to be answering that $1 million question that a lot of you are belonging to have the best straightforward answer to it. And that question is, can you come to New Zealand with NZeTA or visitor visa or tourist visa, or even as a refugee, and change your status to work visa? I would say yes, it is possible. I have seen success stories of people that walk through these various paths that are mentioned above. But your agent collecting a huge sum amount of money from you and not telling you the truth, and the uncertainties behind coming to New Zealand is either as a tourist or with a visitor visa or as a refugee, is what is really making me sit down today to talk to those of you that are keen to listen. So before I get you started, like I said, it is very possible to come, see for yourself, and walk that way. Like I have said, in as much as it is possible, but it doesn't worth you're paying 50 million naira or any huge amount of money for it. NZeTA is something that I have done heaps of time in my previous video on how you can do the application yourself, and with under $100 or so you would get it. So I don't know why you would want to pay a heaping sum of money for something that is crystal clear that you can do for yourself. If you've not watched that video and you have a need to either transit via New Zealand and you need to apply for NZeTA, or if you are a visa waiver country and you want to apply for it, so you need to look for that video and watch. I will try my best to attach it somewhere up here. And so before I go into details regarding the uncertainties of migrating over here in New Zealand as a tourist or with visitor visa or NZeTA or even as a refugee, I would like to state 3 things that I would like you to know that you need to have these 3 things sorted out before you can legally work here in New Zealand, so that when those agents come up with their fake work visas or telling you that you can work with the aforementioned visas in New Zealand, so that you know what to answer them or how to tackle it. So the very first thing that you need to have before you can work here in New Zealand is a number called IRD. And this number is the number where the Inland Revenue Department would work out your tax depending on the number of job you have and your hourly rates and a whole lot of that. So before any employer engages you here in New Zealand, you must have that number. And I have done videos in the past on how you can get your IRD number, and if you guys are keen about it, I will do it again. And the second thing you must have before you can work here in New Zealand is that you must have a valid work visa. So for those of you coming up with document like this, I will share it on the screen, and your agent is insisting that you can work with it, whereas it is stated that you are not authorized to work with this document as a visitor or as a tourist, depending on what the case is. So I am just trying to reconcile, is it that you did not see not authorized to work, or you just want to go with what your agent is telling you. And the last thing that you must have before you can work here legally in New Zealand, you must have an account number where your employer would pay in your weekly or monthly wage or salary to you. So now let's progress to the uncertainties around coming to New Zealand, either as a visitor, a tourist, or even as a refugee, or even with NZeTA. Before I proceed with enumerating the uncertainties with you, I would like to highlight something. You coming to New Zealand, there is something I want you to bear in your mind. That is only the New Zealand immigration. I would reiterate again, only New Zealand immigration have that sole right of changing your visa status. Your offshore immigration agents cannot, and New Zealand immigration follows the rules and the laws that you need to meet up with certain criteria, either you finding a job or you having a skill that is in shortage here, or you having ties here in New Zealand, maybe your wife, your husband, you arrived, you find love, or things like that, or you coming over here in New Zealand to invest. There are criteria around it. You do not just walk up to the office of New Zealand immigration or even apply online and say, oh, I want to change this tourist visa or something like this to work visa. There has to be a criteria document that they would require from you based on what your individual situation is before they would issue you work visa. It's not just automatic that once you arrive, you apply, you get it. But I would say those of us from visa waiver country might have it easier than people from non-visa waiver country. So having said that, let me dig deep into the uncertainties. So in this, explaining these uncertainties to you, I would like to share the story of some people that I came across via my YouTube channel or something. They arrived. To be honest with you, the fastest that I have seen someone securing a job after arriving in New Zealand as a tourist. If I am not exaggerating, it's 4 months. And in that 4 months, the person would have an accommodation, probably staying in a motel or something like that. And the person needs to be eating. The person needs to pay bills. Like, do you have that money saved for you to stay up to 4-6 months without working, while uncertainty of your work visa being approved or declined starting on your face? So this is the number one uncertainty that I would like to bring to your notice. And also, even when you get the visa, finally get the work visa, getting job is not that automatic, especially when English is not your first language. Don't get me wrong, I know you would start saying in the comment section that English is our official language. I agree with you. Most of the British colonized countries, English is our official language, but our tone of English is different because it's not just our first language. So, and outside that, you might not really have New Zealand work experience. So, and remember, in the labor market, you will be competing with those that probably they are born, brought up, or they live within the Pacific. You will be competing with them. So getting job is not as, I don't know how to, it's not yeah, I know I do videos about job. It's not as easy as that, though some people are luckier than others, and a lot of factors play into it. If you are to appear for a job interview when they really needed a person, that will increase your chances, and also the number of applicants. Of course, every employer will go for the best of the options they've got. And outside that, again, the uncertainty is how do you want to start again? Like, I have met a new immigrant that has been out of job for like 3 months, and she was like, Juliet, my account is drying up, I need to get any job and get my life started. I started suggesting to this person, I went for a function where I met this person. I started suggesting on the jobs here that have got a high turnover, where he would pick it up from and start all over again. And this person happened to be a practicing lawyer back home, and the person was like, Juliet, you do not expect me. I was like, I don't get it. I don't expect you to do what? I don't expect you to work and put food on your table, put shelter over your head. So what do you want? There is no free money here, and when you arrive, don't just come down from your high horse. You could be the governor back home. You could be, I don't know, but just know that you have to pick the jobs that are available to get started. And in some cases, you even need to volunteer. You heard me. You need to do some community jobs, volunteer, so that you will have job reference, so that you will have New Zealand experience before you finally integrate. Then you, as you get in, you start developing yourself. If you want to go back to school, if you want to do random courses here and there, and also if you want on the job training, if you're passionate about the thread or the job you find yourself in, you would gradually grow in the job. But your mind needs to be prepared that you would start from the available jobs. You when you come, is the jobs that are available that you have to apply. You won't get some other person off job because that is where you feel you should be. So these are a few of the uncertainties that I could wrap my head around this afternoon to share with you all. And please, if you are residing anywhere in the Western world and you know there are uncertainties that this girl forget to mention, please use the comment section. My sole aim in this channel is to tell them the raw truth. There are advantages and disadvantages of living in the West, so you have to weigh your options and know what settles better with you. So till I see you guys in my subsequent videos, I remain your one and only out and about lady here in New Zealand. See you guys next time.